Hi guys, we'll talk quickly about what to expect from your new AK rifle. This question just keeps coming and coming, and that really brings the joy to my heart, because that means that a lot of people is becoming the owners of those wonderful rifles. But I want to set some basic expectations and answer it to one of the most popular questions: what to expect from the new AK rifle. So, when you are at the dealer store, hopefully some of you will have a really good experience, shopping experience, and actually the dealer will allow you to take it apart, at least to basically field strip the rifle and see what is going on inside and things like this. However, from my understanding, some stores won't allow that at all, but that's okay, we'll deal with it. So basically, first look over the outside of the rifle, check the rivets. The easiest trick to check the rivets, if the rivets were pressed okay or acceptable, take them and look under the light and see if you see any gaps coming from underneath of the rivets, or if they are correctly pressed to the receiver, then nothing should be coming out, right? So that's like the easiest way to check the rivets. They may look not really beautiful, especially on those import rifles from Romania, right? Some of the rivets won't be winning any beauty contest, but if they're holding up, they will stay cool, and there's nothing to worry about it, that they don't look perfect. It happens. The same with the Zastavas and things like this, and even Arsenal rifles. And we're talking about the stamped rifles, because if you got the milled receiver, you don't have so many rivets to deal with. Then also, when looking at the rivets, don't forget to check pins. Look at the pins at the gas block, look at the pins at the front post. Again, they may not be beautiful, but make sure they are not missing, and everything is in place. The next thing what I like to do is look down the barrel, down the rifle, and see if that front post is at least semi-straight, right? Again, this is AK, and even to this day, I'm seeing from the manufacturers from all over the places, sometimes that front post is canted, and you kind of have to expect that this is going to happen on AK. Now, when you zeroing the rifle, and go back to the few weeks old video, I think I posted a quick procedure for a 25 yards zero, how to do it. But when you zeroing the rifle, and if you will be unable to zero because you're running out of the adjustments on that front post, either to the left or to the right, and you cannot zero anymore, then there's something totally wrong, and that's a warranty claim. Unfortunately, you cannot shoot it at the dealer, right? And you cannot test fire the rifle and check how it shoots. But if you will run out of the adjustments, that's a warranty claim. Now, if you will zero the rifle, but your front post is required to be pushed to the left or to the right, but it's still within the limits, that's probably nobody's going to accept that warranty claim from you. I'm telling you this right now. That's kind of acceptable on the AK. Now, speaking about the front post, I have seen this from some manufacturers, so it's easy test to check. Is that drum for the front post pressed correctly? And if it's holding up, just try to move it with your fingers. If it's shifting by moving, by pushing the drum with your fingers, that's a no-go. So you don't want to have the loose fit on that front post drum. And I'm talking about that drum, like if you're able to push it from left or to right, that's a no-go. That's unacceptable. As far as the rear side, try to adjust it, try to move the slider back and forward, right? See how those springs inside are working, if it's latching correctly, basic stuff. You don't want to have this flapping. If this is normal, but because I can feel the pressure and it comes back. But if I will do that, the rear side leaf shouldn't just flap down, okay? Again, if that's happening, that's a weak spring, which is like shaped plate like this, and that's a weak plate underneath of that rear leaf. Not the deal breaker, but it will have to be reshaped or preferably replaced. Something to keep that in mind. Now, screws on the stocks. especially with the import rifles. Remember, you're going to have the US furniture, most likely US furniture. Before shooting, make sure that those screws for the stock are tight. Usually you got 2 screws, one here, right? Make sure that they are tight, that nothing moves. Easy to check before going to range and shooting. Make sure that they are tight. Now, about this too, safety. Sometimes the safety will be extremely stiff. The easiest way to correct the safety, if the safety is stiff, just rotate to 90 degrees angle, push it away from the receiver, and that should, hopefully, do for you the trick, and you should be able to move that safety more freely, and you should have more freedom of how it moves. The same if it's too loose, if it's too floppy, pull it to yourself and bend it that way. That will increase the tension. You may have some scratch marks on the receiver. That's perfectly fine for the AK. Now, speaking about the outside, I forgot about the one thing. If your rifle is equipped with the side roll, kind of check the side roll, check the rivets on the side roll. Make sure the side roll isn't crooked too much. I have seen side rolls installed way, like they were pointing way too down, and what was happening, people were running out of the adjustments. They couldn't zero the rifles. Also, what I'm seeing from some manufacturers, the size of the side roll is not correct. Please make sure that you have at least ½ inch. I will say this, ½ inch in this spot from the little top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top of that rail width. You are at least at the ½ inch. That's like basics, and if not, that means your side rail will be out of spec. All right, going back to the inside, and as I said, I'm not sure a lot of FFLs a lot of stores won't let you do that, but if you will have a chance, try to pull out the bolt carrier and basically look inside what's happening with the trunnion. How is this looking like if everything is normal? As far as the bolt, here I got the K&S pistol installed, but I still got some wobbling on the piston. That's absolutely normal, guys. The wobbling piston is normal. That's nothing, you shouldn't get scared out of it. Now, when checking the bolt carrier, just basically look if everything is looking normal. The bolt, there is not much to look on the bolt, but check the locking locks. Make sure that there are no steps or anything on the locking locks, especially with the used rifles. If you're purchasing a used rifle, make sure that those locking locks surfaces are still looking, flat, and they will be like nicely polished and everything. That's the normal wear on the bolt. The extractor claw, you can look at the extractor claw, make sure it's still nicely shaped. There's no missing chunks of metal pieces and things like this, basic stuff. I still have a magazine in the magazine well. With most of the AKs, you're going to have some wobbling of the magazine inside, and that's absolutely normal. Even it goes side to side or goes up and down. On some AKs, the fitment for the magazine will be, especially for the polymer magazines, will be extremely tight, and that's okay, because this is the way of the import ones too, when they cutting out the magazine well, and they probably using some samples, beat up samples, so that cutout made because of our import laws. The importer is doing that cutout in the United States. They are not done like in Romania, Bulgaria, or they are not done in overseas because of the import laws. So make sure that this fitment is okay. As I said, some wobbling is okay. You don't want to have excessive back and forward wobbling. On the sides, it will work, but if you have the back and forward wobbling, what is happening, I have seen this, the magazines are falling way too deep down, and then you're going to have a misfeeding, because the bullets will be, the rounds will be, when the rifle will be chambering in your round, they will be hitting the bottom of the feed ramp, and you're not going to have a reliable feed. So that's something to be aware of. However, wobbling on AK magazine is okay. Now, if you taking the rifle back home, right, and you want to check before shooting what's happening inside the gas tube. This is not just the shootout to the Pirates Union, but look inside the gas tube for any kind of debris. Brush it just to be safe, okay? If you're buying a completely new rifle, a lot of time you will see some grease in it and things like this. So just clean it before shooting, no big deal, right? Run at least a bore snake through the barrel too. Again, these rifles, you know, were either manufactured here or they were coming from overseas. You don't know what's happening during the storage, shipments and things like this. Better clean out the junk if there is any inside the barrel and inside the gas tube. Check the gas block for the same thing. Now, some of you are going to have extremely tight fitment for that gas tube and will be, you know, fighting with the lever. Again, that's very common on the brand new AKs. That's going to happen too. It is what it is. You can do some modifications to the gas tube and kind of smooth it out, but trust me, over the time when we will be moving that lever, removing the stuff, these things will become more and more loose. There is another thing which brings a lot of trouble to the new owners. They have issues with removing the lower handguards. There is that lever here and they cannot move the lever up to open it and to, you know, slide off the retainer bracket. The best way to deal with it is to use the flat screwdriver, wedge it under the lever and push it out, and that would bring the lever up. Then I usually, if I got this, you know, like really hard to deal with lever, I take the small hammer and I tap it out and I can open it and move it away. If you will use extreme retard strength and manage to break that lever, remember it is riveted, it's pressed in, the replacement part is like $7 I think. So you can buy it, you will push it, very easy to install, you will push it in, splash the rivet on the other side and make it, you know, prevent it from sliding out. No big deal. If you break that, this is not the end of the world. And that's pretty much it, guys. From overall, you know, viewing and reviewing the rifle, either during the purchase or after you will get home. As I said, one more time, before shooting it, swap the barrel inside, make sure there's no debris, it's perfectly fine. If you got everything disassembled around in the chamber, right? Don't be stupid unless you are performing the basically self-extermination. Then look at inside the barrel and you know, avoid the natural selection. We don't have any ammo in the chamber. So if you will do that, you can see everything is looking clean. Please assemble the rifle and you're ready to hit the range and zero it and enjoy the new purchase. Hopefully you will watch the video how to zero the rifle. Really not a big deal. You can do that in less than 5 minutes and keep rocking. All right, that's it. As always, it was a pleasure talking to you. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, guys.